nobody safe. Soon as we step out the cage, we raising all of the stakes. Make no mistake, either you stay in your place.
No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I watched Clone Wars, but I mean, I fell asleep a couple times at night on an episode here or there. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so that's why you call him Huang instead of Huang, like everyone else.
Hey, listen, I've caught up hella on Star Wars. Like, compared to where my knowledge was at, like 6 months ago, compared to where I'm at now, I'm way beyond anywhere I was ever at. So, like, I'm quite proud of my Star Wars. Like, I'm selling people on Star Wars now. On my own with my Huang shit.
Huang.
I'm probably gonna get like a strike from YouTube for like a racial slur now or some shit like that.
Check.
Yeah.
Huang.
All right. So how do I pronounce it again, Jasmine? Is it? Am I sounding it? Is it Juan?
Does the Android have a nickname? Like, it can be easy for us to say it.
Wang.
Oh my god! I'm sorry. Oh, my bad, folks. Oh my god! Even I fell the fuck out there for a minute.
Y'all tell anybody I kill you! Peanut butter and cracks me.
He kicked his habit back in the joint. Now he's back on going.
Here I come.
He's finally home. He's Tyrone.
Well, there you go, folks. A way to start off the wonderful episode tonight. Welcome to the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. We are live Wednesday night, April the 3rd, to discuss the 6th episode of the FX series Shogun. This happens to be titled The Ladies of the Willow World. So we'll get a little bit into that as we get into it. Now, this episode had a ton of information throughout this whole episode. So this is going to be a very deep think, I feel, especially because it was probably one of the longer episodes we've seen. It was almost an hour long. So, this definitely has a lot of great stuff in it. All right, so just to kind of show everyone and get everyone caught up, we have 3 new panelists with us tonight, joining us for the first time. Of course, Jeff S. TrueKnowledge, my lovely co-host. Of course, our other co-host or co-panelist, Mr. Andres, the pop culture guy. He's here too.
Did you just call Time Cop a fucking co-host?
Yes, I did. I was being nice.
Oh my god!
Because I didn't call him. I was trying to be nice to him for a little bit, until a little bit later. Then Time Cop will become Time Cop. Got to give him little props, a few props because he is here quite often.
He is a special guest co-host on Monday, so that you are technically correct.
Well, yeah. So yeah. Anyways, and then of course we have returning from several other episodes that he's been on, Mr. The Real Wrath of Khan. Welcome, Wrath. Good to have you here, sir.
Likewise.
Great. But we have joining us from the Royal Geek Podcast, Justin and T-Roll. Welcome, fellas. How we doing?
Fantastic. Glad to be here.
Excellent. Awesome.
Oh, yeah. There you go. We're doing great, man.
Woohoo! Yeah, it's T-Roll and Justin. All right. I like that name, T-Roll. That's a really great name.
Name T-Roll you already got, right? How many points does he get just from that, Cyber?
He gets about 500 points for that name. But he's doing that's a pretty good name. So I give him 500 points to start off right off the bat. So he's doing pretty good. And then, of course, we have from Jock and Nerd Podcast, Imran popping up. How are we doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to be. This is a crazy panel. And it's going to be a good time. Thanks for having me, fellas.
No problem. Thanks. Glad to have you on. As always, we are the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. And number one thing we like to do is to try to give you some great different quality of panelists every show. So welcome to this awesome new panel. It's great to have these guys here. So like I said, we're going to be talking about the 6th episode of Shogun, which is called Ladies of the Willow World. And just to kind of start off the bat, since we have new panelists, I just want to kind of get your guys' thoughts. What did you think about the 5 previous episodes? What were your thoughts on those previous episodes? And how would you say going into this episode, what were you expecting from it? So I'll start with you, Justin.
Yeah. So far, Shogun has been honestly mind blowing. I think I think you said it on the last episode and to start the show. Like, it's been one of the best shows you've seen in, I think you said the last decade. I think is what you went pretty deep there. I would honestly agree with that. It's been pretty intense. The storyline has been fantastic, and there's like so many different like strands of storylines that you want to like dive down a rabbit hole for. Like, it's not just one storyline that you're sucked into. There's multiple storylines that you just want to learn more about. I've been so in love with the show so far.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you. Over to you, T-Roll. Same question, sir.
Yeah, to be honest, I just got back in. What's the question? My headphones went out.
All right. So basically, I was asking, since you are a new panelist on and you haven't been with us for the first 5 episodes, I was curious as what your thoughts were on the first 5 episodes leading up to this 6th episode.
Yeah, I feel like if I could say one word, I'd say epic. And I think just the overall quality of the show from top to bottom, it's just like I can't get my eyes off it. And it's not just because I have to read because I don't speak Japanese, which is a big part of it, but I literally can't get my eyes off the screen. The storyline's just, gripping. And but I will say, man, I'm just waiting for like a good freaking samurai battle. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm really loving it. I really am.
Excellent. Imran, same question, sir. Your thoughts on the first 5 episodes?
I mean, you guys said it all. Easily the best thing on television right now, writing wise, acting wise, set design wise, costume wise. And the reason I got into it, I am old enough to remember Richard Chamberlain's character from the original miniseries. I never watched it. I was a little kid. I remember how huge it was. And I want to know from you guys if you have read the book or watched it, because I knew nothing. I just saw these trailers and I was like, this looks dope as hell. Looks super prestige. And I was not let down. It's Shakespearean. It is Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones. And it hits on every level. It's amazing.
Yeah, I saw the original miniseries, probably mid-'80s. I saw it after it had aired in 80. And I remember just falling in love with it. Richard Chamberlain, I thought, was so fantastic in it. I hadn't read the book, but I did end up checking out the book after watching the miniseries because I just liked the miniseries so much. And it was just a really well done story from beginning to end. Yeah. And that original series, I mentioned it in a previous episode, saying that if you were really enjoying this, you got to watch that original one, because for what it was, that TV mini series it was made, I think it was only like 2 episodes. They did it like half and half. Is how they did it back then. And they actually because it was the TV time and during the 80s and stuff like that, it was way tamer than this. But at the same time, though, it's still got the same kind of principle across as this series is getting. And so if you're looking for that same exact experience, watching the original to see the differences, even though there are a few differences, they still are really comparably amazingly done and very enjoyable. So I highly recommend, if you have not watched that, definitely watch it if you like this show. Really fantastic mini TV series. All right. Excellent, guys. Thank you. And just to go around to the other panelist, Mr. Andres the Pop Culture, what was your thoughts going into this 6th episode, sir?
Yes. Not much. I think I saw the preview and then it looked really interesting we're gonna get. And this episode 6 was kind of like a very good filler episode to getting us to the war that we're gonna get eventually, because this episode was very much a political final moment of everything, saying the emotions for the war, seeing that the council is not going to get their 5th member because the other, we saw him, we're going to talk that later, And so it was. I mean, I agree with you, Cyber. There was a bunch of information. I was surprised that we got so much information with Mariko's backstory, and also the other lady. That's the main villain. I forgot her name. So sorry.
She's not the main villain. She's the Taiko's mom.
Lady Ochiba, yeah.
Ochiba. Yeah. The Chiba, yeah, that was really cool. I like her background. It was very intriguing, and I was like, oh, okay. I was surprised they jam-packed all of that in this episode. I was like, okay. And which is good. I mean, I need to know what was her angle and like where she came from, like Mariko, you know. So yeah, so I thought it was a very good episode after episode 5. It's not my favorite, but it's still a strong episode. I mean, this show has been excellent for the last 5 weeks. I mean, the production, the costume design, the music, everything is just in top form. And this episode 6 still has that. It's just a lot of, a lot of this information. It's fine, but it just kind of, you lose your attention a little bit. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode.
Well, thank you for expressing how you felt about the episode and not really answering my question, but it's all good, sir. Good job. Good job. Good job.
I can't remember, my feelings going into this episode. I was just like, okay, here's another week of
Shogun. Andres answered your initial question, actually answered it one time, it would literally it would be earth shattering. I don't think we ever had to actually answer the first question before.
Yep, that is true, Andres. That is true.
And then sometimes he just talks about the title, but he talks about the end of the episode right off the bat in the first question.
No, you're the one that talks about the end of the episode, Jeff. What?
Anyways, thank you, Jeff. There. All right, Jasmine, Rapicon, sir. Did you have any thoughts going into this episode since you're so new to watching it? Because you just recently, I know, caught up to us. So. Any thoughts going into this episode?
So, because the first 5 episodes were amazing, and feel free to check the review that I did with Jeff and
recap.
The recap, yeah. Go to that.
Recap.
Yeah. Go to that. You will know how much I like this show. I think it's way better than many of the other Star Wars shows that I've seen. Going into episode 6, I had higher expectations, and how I truly felt about the episode, we will see as we go through this review. Dude, what?
Thank you, Rathlicon. Great job.
Drop right there.
Sir Jeff, any thoughts going into this episode, sir?
That was my first bomb right there. I just want to be clear. I just already dropped one. So, just go ahead. Cyber, you might as well keep track of the score, bro, because I'm taking home the Shogun trophy for most fucking sick contributor on the panel tonight. It's going down.
Oh, okay.
No, actually, I think Andreas is going to win this one.
No drinking games or nothing tonight or whatnot. So I'm not going to get all hammered and shit and whatnot to fuck up my shit. There ain't gonna be none of that. I'm on the panel, bitch. I'm getting after it. So that was one.
I mean, T-Roll's there. He's ready to chop your head off and be the Shogun.
I'm going to take the side of Teranaga and just try to be at peace here.
I was going to say,
I claim no lands, no honors, no thrones.
You weren't there
for some discussion.
For all you know, me and T-Roll might have got deep already and whatnot and everything and become like kindred spirits and shit.
And I have Imran.
We need 4 votes. Look, we just need 4 votes to decide this. That's all.
He could be on my
Who's the 4 regions?
He could be on my side of the fucking the shit, right? And the show.
Got a secret alliance going right now.
That's what I'm saying. You don't know.
Okay, who's the 4 regions? Who is it?
Andres, the pop culture guy. He should have been the 5th region.
Also, look out for the bandits when you're crossing the street. That's all I'm going to say.
Anyways.
Yeah.
We lose
Exactly.
Right. So, Cyber, basically, I never know what to expect from this show other than, Imran said, Shakespearean level fucking writing and whatnot and everything, right? That's beyond anything I've seen. I gotta watch the whole thing and take the whole thing in to really make comparisons to the House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, You know, the stuff we've reviewed that the Andor level, but this is that level, right? I'm like you know, when you got to review the whole thing all the way through to really let it sink in. When you're just doing episode by episode, you're just taking it in bit by bit, and like you don't have the time really to like soak it in all that much. But this is just a great experience. I mean, to have a chance to not only watch this really entertaining show that's so consistent and delivers like, you know, this high quality production and whatnot and everything, right, across the board, like on every level, right, like on every episode. But on top of that, it's nice to be able to make content about it and talk about it with good people, right, and friends and whatnot and everything, right, and make friends over it, whatnot, and all that. You know, it's a good show for that, right? There's nothing in there for us to fight about or there to be fucking any divisiveness about, whatever and whatnot, right? It's all a well-written show that not only is well-written and well-produced and well-directed, and you know, just every detail was deeply, like, you know, like looked at and whatnot, right, with everything. The scope of this series is enormous. The level of dedication and work and the time that they put in to craft this thing, the years they put in, right? Going back and forth with the writers in America, sending, you know, scripts over to Japan to then translate them into Japanese, right, and then send those back, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? And whatnot. That's how the writing process worked.
Well, even on set, I'm sure you got people who need translators, and you're trying to communicate direction and the research alone. Oh my God!
It's just like Hiroyuki said, Sanada said. You know, it's like a combination of the best of the East and the best of the West.
Yeah,
came together for a TV series, and essentially, I mean, all I expect coming in, just like with every show, I never actually really expect certain things to happen. I don't really think that way usually. I just expect it to either be like, you know, at a certain level or a certain not at that certain level. With this show, I just expect like consistent good TV that's like high level, like really high level. Like, you know, again, like reviewing Andor, House of the Dragon. If I'd reviewed Game of Thrones, I imagine like Game of Thrones would have been like that kind of level. And I really just want to end and just put out that I love the fact that, you know, if you imagine if the MCU was doing Shogun, right? In this episode in the MCU world, like Blackfoot and Toranaga would have like sucked each other off, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? And all the female characters would have just taken over and got glowy hands and shit and whatnot, and like fought the war themselves and won, right? Like that's what would have happened in the MCU universe. Seriously. Unfortunately, but glad, like, thank God, right? Whoever the people who made Shogun didn't give a shit about any of that kind of crap, and just decided to just make a good story, just good storytelling and whatnot for episode to episode. And the fact that I love the fact that they portray the female characters in such a real way, right? They're strong, right? Some of these female characters are my favorite characters in the show, right? You know, they are just like other series we've covered, but they're strong, right? And like they're influential, but they're still feminine, right? And there's no messaging there. You know what I mean? And like, you know, and they're not like knocking 6'8" fucking dudes out with one punch and shit either, but they can fight a little bit and shit and whatnot, right? But at the same time, though, if the husband punches the wife in the face a couple times, she gets fucked up, because that's real life, right? Like, I'm sorry, but that's how it goes. And
wrap it up, sir.
I respect that. I just want to say I respect that. I'm sorry, sir. I'm trying to drop as many bombs as possible early.
You said you respect the wife beating?
That's what it sounded like to me too.
I want to
drop too many. If you drop too many at the beginning, you're not going to have mojo at the end to get those points you need, sir.
That's true.
You got to space it out. You got to space it out.
That's true. That's true. I'm sorry, Justin. T-Ro, what were you saying?
Oh no, I just heard you say respecting everything.
Oh, I lost you there big time on your audio, brother.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, you're good now. Sorry, guys. No, go ahead. Repeat.
No, I was just trying to make a joke. Now it's not funny anymore. But
oh, say it. I love a good joke.
All I heard was about you respecting wife beating.
Yes. That's what I heard that too. You said this is wife beating. I respect that.
Can you hear me?
Like, that was your last comment. And then he said, I respect it, but I know you weren't talking about that exactly.
Am I loud enough?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, you're loud enough. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, all right, good. No, all I was saying is I respect the fact that they have strong female characters that also are feminine.
Yeah.
Right? And aren't knocking 6'8" dudes out and shit and whatnot and all that kind of crap and whatnot, like some of these other MCU movies and other stuff and whatnot makes no sense. Right?
Yeah, it's realistic. It makes sense. It's realistic.
But they're still strong and influential. You know what I mean? We're not a la Game of Thrones, a la House of Dragon.
Yeah. Totally. I'm with you, man. I was giving you a hard time, but I totally agree. It's the female characters, Mariko especially, is just captivating, you know? And there's so much emotion in her story. And again, we got so much of that in this episode too, and her background, and even seeing Toranaga asking her what she remembers from her upbringing. You can't look away from the screen. So I love it, man.
And we see a woman who's a business owner in feudal Japan, a legit woman business owner running her business the way she wants. That is why it's great.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Great job. All right. So the episode starts off giving us a little background information into the whole situation with Mariko's past. We get kind of an idea of what she was mentioning about her father and her family and stuff like that. We get introduced to Ochiba before she becomes Ochiba. And we get kind of this little background giving us this information about, kind of what this whole controversy about her family was. And I think it's interesting that, like, as you're watching it and looking at what happened, you're kind of like, I don't get how there's shame in there that her father was defending himself in this situation. So I think it was a good idea to finally kind of give that background into, kind of Mariko's past and give us a little more explanation into, her story that she's been given over the last couple episodes. So that was a great start to the episode. Then we have Toranaga basically, rounding everyone up in the village after the earthquake, and basically, kind of declaring, that Blackthorn saved his life for a second time, and basically gives him command of the ships or of the cannons, and also offers him basically like a higher paying job over there in Japan for the money that they use over there, and that he'd be getting more money and stuff like that. And, basically kind of, gives his blessing and thanking him for, saving his life again. And everyone's kind of shocked, of course, as you see all their faces like that. And especially, Yabashiga and stuff like that. It's hilarious watching their faces as this, as they say, Anjin, or this barbarian. This barbarian, or just this British guy getting all these accolades that, Japanese people get. And it's like Toranaga's just freely giving them to this white guy, and they're all upset.
He gives him a fief, right? Doesn't that mean he gets like land?
Yeah,
and stuff. And like the look on Blackthorn's face is like, bro, this is great. But honestly, I don't really even want any of this. Can I just have my ship back?
Exactly. Yep. And so we have that great little moment there, which was really fun. And I think that whole beginning little section was really interesting and fun. And so before I move on past that, let's just talk a little bit about that section, the beginning of the episode, what your guys' thoughts are and stuff like that. And just overall your impression of Mariko's, past, kind of that flashback that we got. And what did you think about kind of the introduction to find out that Ochiba was this other person before she became Ochiba too as well. So your thoughts on that beginning section of the episode and just kind of your overall thoughts. I'll start with you, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you come to me before my internet cuts out again. But honestly, the beginning of the episode, I like seeing the growth and background of Mariko, because you see her as a little child, and she's kind of just thrown into a situation just because of kind of her father's standings, and she's an obedient daughter. She's just like following the instructions of her dad, but she doesn't know what she's really doing there. And that kind of leading up to we get a little training montage, like where she's kind of training with a sweet looking weapon, a little staff. But so that kind of adds to what Jeff was saying earlier on about the strong female characters. Like you see a vulnerable girl, and then you flash forward, and she's anything but vulnerable at that moment where she's training. She's fierce. You don't want to mess with her, and she's like winning the approval of not only making her father proud, but like all the other eyes that are on her, watching her, kind of like raising her stock as a bride. Essentially, that's how I kind of viewed that. But yeah, so it's like you see the parallels from her vulnerability as a child to her strengths as a young woman now, and then her having to carry out that strength by listening to her father by being married off. I thought that was just a great dynamic we saw there.
Excellent. Thank you. Jeff, your thoughts, sir?
Oh, geez, I didn't think you'd actually really go to me right off the bat. Holy fuck, that surprised me. You threw me off with that, Cyber.
You're supposed to drop bombs there, Jeff. You got to be on deck.
How far are we going, Cyber?
So to when Toranaga gives Blackthorn the command of the cannons, and basically gives him the thief.
Well, Blackthorn, the one dig out that I'll throw out there, whatnot, on Shogun is the Blackthorn face. The face he makes, whatever, whatnot, to like show or whatever, whatnot, that he's displeased with the whole shit, whatever, dissatisfied. Yeah. The face he makes, whatever, whatnot, is actually almost like, it's not funny. It's like kind of like grating a little bit almost at times, and stupid looking at times too. Like he looks almost retarded.
Do you want to punch him? What am I hearing?
He almost looks like he's like he deserves to get the Danny Award or whatever, whatnot. Like occasionally, like here and there, just through certain scenes. And just to be clear, since we got newcomers in the show, the Danny Award was inspired by Matthew from Born to Watch channel podcast. So I blame him for the Danny Award, but I of course created it. I'll admit it. And we give the Danny Award to special people on special occasions. But I would give him a Danny Award moment sometimes with some of those facial expressions, like with Toranaga, where he's just like,
he's so ungrateful. Like
he does not know what he's getting, and like all but Toranaga needs him. He needs him. He's not going to let him go. He's still doing the face.
It's like a gap or whatever, whatnot. Like, not like all like, there's no expression to it. He's not like upset. He's just like, whatever. It's funny. And he just like, he complains and bitches about everything. Right? Like, seriously. That's just like a personal thing. It pisses me off that he has not pillowed Fuji yet. Should have went down already. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, Fuji is the shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? She is the bomb. Like they didn't give her much to do this episode, unfortunately, because her there was too much shine on her ass. She was kicking too much ass, right? Yeah. Like the last couple episodes, she was killing it. So they had to like slide it over a little bit and whatnot and take it away from her before she stole the shit away from Rico.
She got some good reaction shots in though. You can add to the reaction.
They gave her, she did a little something.
Yeah.
But still, I'd say that the only thing I really have to say about that part of the show is the intro. It's just so good. I fucking love the intro, man. The intro of the fucking show is better than some TV shows, their episodes. Right? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Whoever the fuck made that thing is goddamn fucking great at their job, man. Like, the team or whatnot that put that intro together. Talk about a great intro with great music, too.
Yeah.
The score is really good from jump, like it always is on this episode. And they do a great job of using flashbacks. We never talk about that, but they do.
Well, this is the first time really they've given us like an extensive flashback.
But in general, when they use them, they're effective.
Yeah.
They're well done.
A little bit in the beginning.
They're very well done. If anything, they're very well done, the flashbacks. They seem very authentic to the what we're seeing on screen with the characters in real time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and so my main takeaway would be that it sucks fucking I want to see Toranaga fucking kick ass, man. Like, it sucks that his army fucking got devastated by that earthquake, dude. That's bullshit. Like, that pisses me off. Like, from a fan standpoint and whatnot, I'm not happy about that.
Oh, he'll get him. Give him some time.
But still, his force is reduced, like, seriously now. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
figure it out. You can figure something
well,
out. Get some
so,
sounds.
basically, and I like the fact that they started off the episode sort of not mirroring, but right off the bat setting a tone and letting us know that Mariko and Uchiba were going to be the key figures, the main two real pillar characters of the episode. They established that right from jump, and I like that. I like that they went in that direction with the chapter. I just want to mention hats off to Hiromi Kamada that directed this chapter and Megan Huang that wrote this chapter, because they did a great job, and this was their first time. This was their first chapter that they did. They did a great job. That's all. That's all I got. Another one in the fucking tank.
All right, so you're up at 5,000 points, sir. So very good job tonight, sir. You're doing great. But unfortunately, for all the new panelists, they automatically get 10,000 points because they're the first time on the panel, so they're already ahead. Because number one, once again, last time, your last answer, you ranted like a 60-minute man. So your points have been reduced a little bit, but you have time to make it, sir. You did well.
I'm passionate about Shogun, baby. I'm gonna seppuku myself at the end of the show if I don't handle my business.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, sad.
Sure.
I'm so diehard for Shogun, baby. I'm gonna fucking seppuku.
Yeah.
It's called seppuku, Jeff.
Whatever.
You can't even say it right. Yeah, how's he gonna do?
It don't matter. I'm TrueKnowledge, bitch. I'll say it what I want.
He's gonna use a dull blade.
He's gonna go to the massage parlor and get seppuku'd by one of the chicks.
When you're TrueKnowledge, you can put towards any way you want. It's still legit.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Great job, sir. All right, Replicon, your thoughts on the beginning of the episode?
Okay, so in the beginning, we learned that Mariko is the daughter of Ochiba's father's vassal, which means that Mariko was born at a lower status than Ochiba. I think this deserves importance because it just speaks a lot on how in the beginning, as you see Ochiba and Mariko hanging out together, it's like they see each other as equals. But then, when you flash forward to the future, as we've seen in the previous episode, Ochiba thinks that she's much higher than Mariko. Or I might be wrong, but I don't think she ever mentioned Mariko as an adult. Panelists?
I don't think she talks about her.
You lost me at Mariko.
No. Mariko and Tanaka mention her, but not Shishibu. No.
Okay. Okay. Got it. But main point, Mariko was born at a lower status than Ruri, who's known as Ochiba today. At the same time, as we go through the intro, I noticed that the adults, even though they weren't afraid to be violent, up front, it's you don't see them shielding the kids from all the violence. How we saw the beheadings?
Yeah, they were watching, the little kids are watching the beheadings. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's
what is happening?
You gotta cover the eyes or just send someone to send them to a different room. No, it's just they're just saying, oh, you're just dreaming.
You're just dreaming. That is crazy. Yeah.
What a terrible dream. More like a nightmare.
Yeah.
It is. And then I do have a lot of notes, but I will say one final thing and I'll let you guys handle the rest. We see a scene in the intro where Mariko is using a spear. And I think just that scene alone helps us understand why she's so great at using the spear. And I think, was it episode 4 when she used the spear against the bandits?
It was episode 3 where they had that scene in the woods.
Yeah, yes, that one. So I'm just glad they added that scene, because if they go through the whole show without showing that scene, then, by the end we'll be like, how did Mariko learn how to be so great with a spear? So I'm just glad they actually added this scene. I wish they added it in episode 3 though, because it would just add more context to this scene. That's all I have.
Excellent. Thank you, Rathacon. Great job, sir. You get 500 points added to your total, sir. So you are currently
Perfect.
setting at 7,500, sir. Great job.
Thank you.
Anyways, on to T-Roll, please. Your thoughts on the beginning up to the point when Toranaga gives Blackthorn all those wonderful gifts.
Yeah, for sure. And if my mic goes out or something, you guys just wave at me. Try to let me know. But I think going back to something Jeff said about you guys like to call him Blackfoot. Is that right?
For some reason, they like to say Blackfoot, but his name's
I
Blackthorn.
say Blackbeard.
I
I say Blackbeard.
Blackbeard.
One of our guests, Kim, that you might meet if you come back, T-Roll, and do another chapter.
Yeah.
She's going to be back next week for the week after. Kim from the pop culture green room called him Blackfoot once or twice, and I had to steal it from her.
No, that is good. That is good. Regardless, though, we'll say Blackthorn just for consistency here. I will say he has gotten a little more moody in the last few episodes. It feels like to me. But then I try to like put myself in his shoes and be like, okay,
Right.
what would it be like to be in Japan? And you can only literally communicate with one person.
And he just wants to
You
go
know?
home. Yeah. There's a war.
Yeah. I just want my ship. Are my people okay? Are my men okay?
Never finds out.
Like he's like, you're giving me a home, you're giving me a fief, they give him a prostitute. It's like,
Yeah.
how about just can I take a field trip to where my men are to see that they're okay? That's really what I want. So yeah, I think that was something that's been that I've noticed with him where I'm a little more annoyed, but I think it's again, I'm trying to really relate to that, and I can't, but if I was in his shoes, I'm sure I would be so, man, just feeling lost, you know? So, and then one more thing I'll say just with the intro, and it speaks to the whole episode, but I'll say it right here again, as we're talking about Mariko and Ochiba and, the director, the directing and the writing of this episode, so much was, we learned so much with like so little action. And I think I just appreciate that. In a show where I am dying to see more action, I do appreciate how you can get so much depth. And it's I feel like it's like a Japanese freaking Downton Abbey over here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been really good. So yeah, anyways, that's what I got.
Oh, T-Roll, I have a question for you. Do you think Toranaga's lavishing of gifts to Blackthorn is a strategy and not just out of pure generosity? And you're mute.
Man, that is a good question.
Because think
I will
about it.
say-
If you lavish him with gifts, okay, like he has to look thankful. So that way it's like if you ever ask for a ship, he just looks ungrateful.
Yeah. I'm going to plead the fifth here, but it's like something about Toranaga. I can't figure him out. And I mean that in a really good way. Like I trust that he's the good guy, or at least like he's on the side that I want to be on. But I still like, he is playing chess when everyone's playing checkers.
Yes, I was
think
gonna
he's
say
even
that.
doing it.
Everything
Yeah.
Toranaga does is carefully planned. I don't think this guy does anything without thinking, what can I get out of it?
Yes,
How
absolutely.
is
I
this
totally
gonna
agree.
help? Yeah.
So I'm not really sure if it's just out of the, maybe it's a mixture. If you put a gun in my head, I'd say it's a little bit of both. Like I think he is planning something, but I also think like he's really thankful that Blackthorn saved him, and he's really thankful that Blackthorn. I remember when I think he took a this was episode 2 or 3 when Blackthorn used his skills to get out of the bay around that other ship.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that was a calculated gamble on Toranaga's part to see if he could get out, and he did.
Yeah.
And so I think there is a part where he really appreciates Blackthorn and does, and he's trying to show him some courtesy. But also, man, Toranaga's got something. He's plotting. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, everybody's trying to kill him. This man needs all the allies he can get, and he's going to do whatever it takes. Blackthorn's a wild card. He knows about cannons. He's got things the other guys don't. He does not want him to leave. And I love that moment where he's like, I just want my ship and stuff when they're arguing, and he's just like, I'm done talking about this. Like, he will not discuss it because he can't have them sail off. Just scoffs at his ideas to attack the ship, which I thought was a good plan. Take the boat out, but he just wants the Portuguese. Mariko gets mad because she's Catholic. They have a little scuffle, and to the point where Toranaga is like, "What is this arguing? Why aren't you translating? What's going on?" Another great moment. This episode had so many great lines and great moments.
Excellent. Thank you, T-Roll, and thank you, Rathacon. Great job. So since you were already giving some of your thoughts there, Imran, go ahead and give me your thoughts on the beginning of the episode up to those gifts given to Blackthorn, please.
I mean, I love the flashbacks, the fact that we get to go 22 years and fill all this in. And I love how when you meet the girls, you meet Mariko and Ruri, and then you're watching it, and I was like, who does does this turn into Ochiba? And the way they kind of teased you with that is great. The kids watching the beheadings is crazy. And so her crazy backstory, right? Mariko's father killed Ruri's father, and then he also killed the rest of his family. And like you said, Rathacon, Mariko born less, Ruri born higher. Ruri, after that, actually loses everything, has to become a concubine and kind of build her agency and her power back up. And now everyone's like, she's playing chess on the other side of the board at Toranaga just because she's got the kid. But I find it interesting. They're showing us that these two share a bond. They had a similar childhood, and they ended up in different places. Mariko kind of retreats into her eightfold fence there, right? And Ochiba's like, this ain't never going to happen again. I am getting all of the control, and I'm going to make the choices. So each of them take a different takeaway, end up on different sides. And then Toranaga still is involved in meddling in both of their lives, right? He knows what Mariko's father wanted for her, and he probably did tell her father to assassinate Ruri's father. He was probably behind it. She blames him. But it's just some of the quick shots they do later in this episode of the flashbacks is great. It was very different, but I loved it. It gave so much depth to these characters that was needed. And to see the women of the show highlighted was also great.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, Time Cop. Your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I mean, Blackbeard himself just doing his usual stick of complaining is always enjoyable to see, and I agree with you guys about, the fact that Toranaga has his, somehow he is frustrated with him, but at the same time he doesn't show it, and he just finds some way to kind of just go over his head to keep him out, in Japan is very impressive. I mean, but throughout the series, we know as the character, I mean, even Mariko has made this, statement, particularly in episode 3, that he likes to play the long game. He likes games. So, so just having, Blackthorn here is just, he's part of the chess. He's in the moving chess, and he needs to keep him, to get this war be his side and win. It's not like a brawl. It's just the mind game that he's playing with this counselor, the counselors that he's facing with. And so it's very intriguing, and that's one of the reasons I like about Toranaga is that he has this very calm, very theoretical mindset of how to move his chess and how to defeat his enemies, and all that was really great. And plus, I really like the the tense. He knows that the tensity between Mariko and Blackthorn, he's getting sense that they probably are in a relationship or whatnot. But so it was really intriguing that the fact that he made Mariko to be at that that thing that he is giving Blackthorn, as a gift, was very intriguing. And why he did it, I'm just come on,
Well, we're not talking about that part. I'm talking about the very beginning, the flashbacks.
And yeah. I'm getting to that. No worries, I'm getting to that. Anyway, but it's all fascinating later on in the episode. But the flashback, I mean, the flashbacks are good. I mean, they're there to help you understand the history between Maruko and Shishibio and where they come from. And later on in the episode, we get into more of their, family history, which is good because it's very rich. Like particularly Maruko. Like last episode, I was like very intrigued what was going on with her family, her family background, and so it was very intriguing. And yeah, like it was weird, that they be allowed to cover their kids' eyes about the beheading. I was like, whoa. And it's like, it's all a dream. It's like, no, it's not a dream. It's a real thing. She's scarred to death. Like, how stupid are you? Like, I was just laughing so hard when that moment happened. It's like, no, it's a dream. It's like, no, dude, it's a nightmare. So yeah. Anyway, it was great. What else happened in the flashback? I mean, with the flashback, it was more Moriko's flashback than Shibio because we're going to get more like Shibio later in the half episode. So that first flashback was more Moriko.
Yo, Shaquille O'Neal was not in chapter 6.
Oh my god!
I just thought I'd be clear.
You know what? How about this? Fuck you, Jeff. Fuck you for interrupting me, you son of a bitch. Anyway, that's all I have.
I didn't see him. I mean, I thought I would notice Shaq.
Oh my god! Okay. Anyway,
he got fuck you and a son of a bitch. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I had to say. It was a great beginning. The flashback was very important to understand Maruko, which I love Maruko. She's my favorite character, so I was very happy that we got the payoff of her dad. And all of that was so intriguing. So I was very happy we got to that. And then just seeing Toranaga just stepping down, Blackbeard because he's such a bitch. It's like, come on, dude, you're getting money, and you're becoming a commander. That's a good thing. It's like, come on. But anyway, that's all I had to say. Overall, it was a good, first part.
Thank you, Taka. Jeff, you wanted to bounce something off of Andre, sir.
You know what? Once Shaquille O'Neal became a part of chapter, I just lost the whole fucking whatever train of thought I had going. He said something good I wanted to bounce off of, but then Shaquille O'Neal became a part of the fucking show and all that. I mean, I completely.
You're the one that brought it up, not me.
I should have wrote the shit down, man. I wish I would have wrote it down. It was very profound what I was going to say too, but fuck it.
All right, excellent. Thank you. Okay, so excuse me. All right. So moving on with the episode. So we have a brief scene after Toranaga gives those gifts to Blackthorn, where Yabashigi and his nephew were having a conversation, and basically the nephew's like, I can't believe that Toranaga gave the command to Blackthorn. And, basically Yabashigi's like, well, it's out of my hands now. There's nothing I can do. He took it from me. So, there's nothing to do here, nephew, basically. And, he's like, basically, leave it alone. And I'm like, yeah, definitely. I agree there. I'm like, this nephew has gotten him into so much trouble throughout these episodes. I'm like, stop listening to him, Yabashigi, you idiot. Anyways, so after that, we have... basically, we get the reprimanding of Mariko's husband by Toranaga, and basically, saying you shouldn't, why did you hit her and all this kind of stuff, and we have kind of that brief sequence, and he's like, oh, I'm so ashamed, I should seppuku myself and all this kind of stuff, and basically, kind of just gives you more insight into how idiotic this person is, and basically Toranaga's like listening to what he's saying, and just kind of like you can see in Toranaga's face, he's just kind of like, will you shut the hell up, like this you're so stupid. He's like, who cares, like do what I say, I'm your command, it's like, stop being an idiot. Basically you can just see it in Toranaga, like you're an idiot, like if you don't want to deal with her, divorce her, like he said, So we get that great scene, which I really enjoyed that one because I love seeing him get his, getting what is coming to him because he deserved it. And so basically he ends up telling him that he's going to stay away from Mariko for 7 days. And so I think that was a very clever idea. So then, then we have Toranaga and Blackthorn have a conversation. This is the conversation you got. Some of you kind of mentioned a little bit about, where at one point, Toranaga asked, Mariko, why are you guys arguing? This is, basically, Toranaga's asking for a ship again, kind of like what all you keep saying about whining, which I'm sorry, I don't see it as whining. I see it as give me my shit, let me go. I've done what you wanted. It's time for me to go. There's no whining here. It's like he's trying to move on with his life. He's fulfilled what he needs to. So, I don't see it as whining. I feel it's more of him just trying to get a shit. And so he basically, gets what he's trying to get across to Toranaga. And of course, as Mirko is translating it, she's translating it how she wants to translate it, not really saying 100% what Blackthorn's saying. And so that's when kind of that arguing kind of comes in, because she starts arguing, and that's why Toranaga asks her why they're arguing after Blackthorn leaves. And so basically he tells her that, that you're going to take him to a brothel and you're going to get him the best Coruscant, and you're going to go to as well to be his translator. And then you're going to do this. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, okay, I will do my duty, basically. So before we move on past that, let's get your thoughts on that section of the episode. The Yabashigi scene, the conversation with Toranaga and Blackthorn, and then the brief conversation with Mirko and Toranaga itself. What are you guys' thoughts on that section of the episode? What did you enjoy? What did you like? And kind of just your overall thoughts. We'll start with you, Imran, first.
And that Yabashigi scene, doesn't he? That was great, because doesn't he say he's complaining about the barbarian? Yabashigi is like, you're worrying about the wrong person, right? See the big picture. So Toranaga, he knows everything. He knows what's up. He's seen this sexual tension between Mariko and Blackthorn. So I find it very interesting that first he tells Buntaro to leave the house for 7 days, and then immediately turns around and goes, take him to a brothel. By the way, you go with him. I need you there to translate, which is kind of a brilliant move, because if people in the village are already talking, they're going to see them, that they're having an affair. They'll see them go in there. They'll see her go in there. It's kind of a win-win for him either way. Either that, or he probably thinks, look, they'll bang, they'll get it over with. We can go on with our lives. I don't know what's going on here. But that whole scene was wild. When he was like, go with him, I was like, oh, hold on. What games are you playing, Toranaga? He's clearly playing games.
100%. Thank you. Excellent. All right. Let's go to you, Justin.
Yeah. Okay. So I found it fascinating with Blackthorn was interacting with Toranaga, and Toranaga once again, he's like, "I'm giving you everything. Like, you just stay here."
Oh,
Justin, you want Iceman on us, bro? You're what?
And he's gonna stay there. Here, he will be staying.
I told you, I wish I had a magic crayon that I could use, and I could add a penis into his mouth.
So the microphone's already in.
They don't have that filter on StreamYard.
Cyber, do you want to throw to somebody else and whatnot? Till
I have control. This is my moderating, sir. I know what to do.
Sir. I'm sorry,
Be
sir.
quiet. So you just lost 5,000 points again, sir.
5,000,
naughty boy.
That's a big deduction.
Yes, it is. Because you screw the pooch. Anyways, all right, we'll go to you, Rathacon.
Woo! All right, let's go. Okay, so let's start with that conversation with Toranaga and Buntaro. So, importantly, in ancient Japan, not many people know this, but divorces can only be approved by someone of a higher class. So, if you're a samurai, you need the vassal of your town to approve the divorce. If you're a vassal or known as a duyan, you need the shogun to approve your divorce. So hearing Buntoro complained to Toranaga about his marriage is reasonable, because if he actually wanted a divorce, Toranaga is the only one that can approve it. Keep that in mind, people. I do like, though, when Buntoro was like saying that Maiko is like ice, and that ice has been frozen for so long, but only when Blackthorn enters the scene that ice started to thaw. Like, that just speaks a lot, because
And that ice on the vagina too.
I think I was implied.
Okay. Okay. With that, I did like how they connected that scene to the intro when it's like Maiko did not want to get married to that guy, and just speaks a lot about how their marriage is just the worst. We don't know, though, if Buntoro has been secretly going to the tea house and pillowing with you never know who. What else do I have? Oh, yeah. Also, I found it interesting in the show that the women, like, they don't blacken their teeth, they don't shave their eyebrows. Like, those practices were actually done in ancient Japan for married women. And in ancient Japan, they did that just so the wives would look unattractive to other men. But in this show, they've never shown that at all, which not only surprises me, but at the same time, it helps create that, like, tension between Blackthorn and Maiko.
What are you trying to imply? That, like, if she had some fucking rotten ass dirty teeth, black teeth, that she wouldn't be still be a good woman or whatever, whatnot, and worth fucking?
To Blackthorn, yeah, correct.
Okay.
It's like one of those things where, like, they don't, strictly follow the historical.
Black teeth bitches need to get dick too.
Do we,
From their husbands.
do you
There's
know
a reason why.
when did that? Maybe that happens historically, like after this period or before? Would that have been happening?
I read it was during the period
Oh, okay.
when I did my research.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Time Lord, make
Yeah.
sure if I ever time travel back in time, I don't go back to that time period.
okay. And let's see, what else? Okay, you know what? I'll just leave the rest of the crumbs to you guys.
Oh,
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Good job. Back to you, Justin. If you don't become Iceman again,
Hey,
let's finish your thoughts, sir.
there's so many great intellectual minds on this podcast. It's completely crashing my computer, so that's the issue. But
Oh,
yeah,
nice. That was
there it
good.
is. But yeah. Anyway,
that's another 5,000 points for Justin.
hey, there we go. I'll take it.
Yeah, and then there's Jeff, right?
That was a good one, Jeff.
True knowledge. But yeah, no. What I was saying originally is like just Toranaga and Blackthorn's conversation. Like Blackthorn just so desperately wants to be gone and like doing his own thing, but Toranaga, like, he really needs him for that cannon regimen. Like, he really like unlocked this whole new strategy for fighting, and Toranaga has, he sees the writing on the wall that you know what, we really need that cannon regiment, and honestly Blackthorn is the one who can lead him to success. So I mean, there's a lot that goes into that small conversation, and then like to top it off, Tornaga's like, no, I'm not giving you any of that. You think I want to go off with something, and that's just I mean, honestly, the whole interaction was great, man. I absolutely enjoyed that complete interaction.
Excellent.
We lost a little bit there at the end there, Justin, just so you know.
Oh, of course. There's too many, like I said, too many intellectual moments. It is.
Maybe we got such a big show, we're taking up too much Wi-Fi.
Probably.
That's what it is. Yeah, bandwidth. It's all the bandwidth, man.
Justin, we need to get you Starlink, man.
Oh man, trust me. My neighbor has it. I need to like piggyback off of him. But yeah.
Yeah, you should.
Excellent. Thank you, Justin. Great job there, sir. Please let the Wi-Fi gods give you Wi-Fi. Anyways, on to you, Jeff. Your thoughts, sir, on that little section of the episode, please. And stick to the episode.
I'm praying to the Wi-Fi gods for Justin. We don't like to see that, Justin. It's not fair to you that you can't talk, contribute whatnot and all that the way you want to. We got your back, brother. So basically,
Thank
I'm
you.
just going to say that no problem, sir. I am surprised that Blackfoot hasn't mentioned to Mariko already, like, hey, look, when I take off, like, you should come with me. Like, that's coming soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, coming off, you know, like, you know, you know, we're going how far are we going on this one, Cyber? If you don't mind me real quick, reminding me.
We're going to after up to when Toranaga and Mariko have their conversation after Blackthorns and his conversation after she's.
Oh. Okay, well, Imran made a really good point already that that it's unfortunate, but the one thing that I love having big groups, but the one thing that sucks is that when somebody drops something and they're like the first person that talks, sometimes you like want to rip off of it and whatnot, but by the time more people talk, you forget, right? Or like somebody mentions Shaquille O'Neal is in the episode or whatever, whatnot, right? You forget all about what you're going to talking about. So just, you know, it sucks. But Imran mentioned something again, made a really, really good point, just like the Shakespearean aspect of the writing. Made a really good point about the fact that Toranaga knows doesn't know exactly what's going on, just like he never really does with certain situations. But he just has such a good job of off the cuff, really quickly being able to know how to handle situations, right? Even with the language barrier and everything, right? Although it does kind of help behoove him too with Blackfoot that there is a language barrier, right? And he does have the position of being the one that owns him, essentially, right? So like he can just kind of dismiss him, you know. And thank God Blackfoot finally at least gets that. He bows and shit and whatnot, even when he's pissed off or whatever, whatnot, and ungrateful. At least he bows now. Which you can't blame Cosmo Jarvis for any of that shit and whatnot. He's just doing his job. But you know, I can imagine the hate mail he's probably getting from people and shit. But no, basically, I thought that he really played that well because he knows how important Mariko's translating is with the engine. And since his life's been saved by him now twice, he sees the value in him more and more, right? Like that's why he put him in charge of the cannon regiment. You know, he keeps things close to the vest, right? So, you know, I think that he realizes probably that, like, you know, just like he rewarded Omi, right? For, you know, basically poisoning his son's mind to cause, you know, that whole cannon incident. Same kind of strategic. He has that strategic mind, and so it was perfect move for him to send, you know, her with him for the courtesan and tell her, oh, you're going to be there to translate, right, and whatnot, and all that, and everything, and all that. You're going to go. And they did a great job pausing before he said that she was going to go. I like also that again, Mariko Anasawi is doing a great job on her end with her acting, probably out acting Jarvis, if anything, in terms of the translator role, and now playing off this like cold shoulder or fuck you role towards Blackthorn about everything and whatnot, right? She's doing it great, very subtly, right? She doesn't want to give off anything to anybody. But everybody, like Cyber, like Imran, other people have already mentioned on the show, people know they're fucking, right? That like they know. And we'll get in, you know, right after this, we'll get into, you know, what happens after that, whatnot, with that whole deal. But lastly, I just want to point out that Blackthorn is wearing his swords now all the time and whatnot and everything. I'm very impressed by that. You know, he's handling his business. That will make Fuji happy. And when Fuji's happy, I'm happy. Not enough Fuji in chapter 6, bitch. Fuck.
Oh well. They had to give story time to the others that we don't really know about, Mariko and Ochiba. So
Fuji
gets pushed to the side. It's okay. She's still there. She's fine. All right, Andres, your thoughts, sir.
Yeah,
And just that section, please.
Yes, that beef section. I know. Thank you so much. I have not much to say about it. I mean, I already brought that up.
Was Clyde Drexler in this scene?
No, of course not. I mean, well, I need to bring up the husband. I was kind of happy that Taranagi like put himself, like punish the guy because like it was kind of ridiculous. I mean, you marry her, so I like that Taranagi made the solution. Just don't see her for 7 days, and so it was very funny afterwards that you see Blackthorn, right the moment when he leaves. It was just a very funny and awkward moment. So I really like that scene. It was very intense, and it's very like soap opera kind of moment, because we're getting all these kind of dramas now, like collision, like at this moment, like everything's like very intense now between Blackthorn and Miracle, which I like because that's the relationship that I care about in this series. They were meant to be together, and I'm very happy that maybe one day they'll be, together. Maybe. Exactly. So I really appreciate that. And I mean, I'm just very surprised. Like, I try to forget, like, Blackthorn reminds me of the character, Michael Douglas character from the two films called The Romance in Stone and The Jewels of Nail. Like, the whole boat thing that Michael Douglas always like, my boat, I want my boat. It reminds me of that, like that type of character, or Kevin Costner's character from Waterworld. Oh, my boat. Oh my god, it's like, dude, I get you when your boat and your people, I get it, but please, just ask something else besides those two things. It drives me nuts every time he brings up that boat and his man. His boat and his man. It just drives me nuts every time. Every episode, he brings that up all the time. It's like, what about food? What about like clothing? Or give me a pistol? Or give me something? Besides a boat and a freaking man. I get, and I will bet his men are dead. Taranagi killed them. They're not alive. He just lying to him. It's like, oh, actually, friend, they're dead. I just chopped their heads off. So I hope that happens. So it's like my man is dead. So yeah, but overall, this mini section is really great. It's just the combination of the drama that we've been seeing the last 2 episodes with Mariko and Taranaga's relationship, because they're very like just not communicated properly, and that's not good for Taranaga. He needs Blackthorn to be on top of things so he can get his army set. One thing I will say, I want to bring up just the nitpick is the whole army situation. Like, I just feel like they should spend more time that his army was heavily damaged by the earthquake, but we didn't see that in this episode. And I don't want to go, towards the episode, but it didn't seem like it didn't hurt him as much as he's saying it to be. So it's kind of weird that like he didn't have like a heavy damage of his army by the earthquake. It was just a weird, like, not addressing the fact that he could, like needs to bring more people into the army, but it didn't seem like it hurt him at all with that earthquake. So that's my one nitpick about like that section, is like how damaged was the earthquake to his army was, because like it shouldn't like literally wipe out all his whole army, but it didn't seem like that. But we'll get to that. So that's my thoughts on this mid section. And no more bolts in man, please. Please stop saying that, Blackthorn. It's just getting tired of it.
It's kind of like you calling yourself Time Lord or Time Bat or whatever.
Or Bat Lord. Bat Lord.
Bat Lord, yeah.
You guys say that. Not
maybe somebody should just shut up. Yeah.
I never fucking said you were Bat Lord.
Well, our good friend Ramon, he said it to us.
His name is Raven, sir. Out of respect for his
Excuse me, he's Spanish too. So fuck you. I can say it because he's Latino. I'm Latino. So,
now you want to use the race card and shit. Okay.
Oh yeah, race card. Oh fuck.
You and your
and both of you are saying it wrong. It's Ramon. So that's how you actually say it, sir. Okay, that's how you say it.
I can't roll my tongue, sir. I can eat pussy like a champion, but roll the tongue, no good.
Oh please, you're lying. You got such a small like D. There's no way I can imagine you
No,
having
sir,
that.
my D is above average in size, at least.
How much? Like
That's
a
what I'm told.
1.0?
I don't know. I believe it's above average. It's good. It's very good. Very good.
All right. So
It
Jeff,
worked.
you just got your other 2,500 points back. Andreas just lost 5,000 points because he's a tool. He's a tool. Anyways, T-roll, please. Your thoughts on on this section of the episode, please.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'll try to be brief. I know we've been on this section for a minute, but I will say, does anyone like look at Yagi and you're just like, this poor guy doesn't know what's happening at any point at all. Like he's always got this face like, what?
Yeah.
Feels like he's like, whether he's like he's clearly like, partnering with for his own benefit.
Yeah.
But like neither Toranaga or gosh, what's the main villain's got?
Shido.
Ashido. Yeah, thank you.
Shido.
Or Ashido. It's like no one seemed to really care about Yabashigi at all.
Yeah.
And so like every scene, so like when he's complaining with his nephew again, there's one of those scenes in every episode.
He's like,
this poor guy just
take another will, bitch. I'm afraid another will.
Yeah, the
Yes,
two times.
exactly.
2 times he's changed his will.
That was a funny line when he just turns around and he has that look in his face like, well, dang. It was so good. So, yeah, I just want to talk about Yabashiki for a minute.
Excellent. Thank you. Very well done, everyone. Great job. Everyone gets 5,000 points.
Woo-hoo.
You guys are all fantastic. All right, so we're gonna drop the trailer to give people an idea of what we're talking about. And at this time, if you need to refill a drink or go to the bathroom, this is the time.
There you go.
Maybe fate brought you here for a reason. Maybe you'll live long enough to find out what it is. I won't die in this wretched land.
My master asks what you seek here.
To vanquish our common enemies. Dear God, you don't know their games.
己の敵の正体が分かっておらぬのじゃ。
出陣やむなし。The ultimate rank a mortal can achieve. Shogun.
And there we go, folks. A little trailer for you guys. There we go. Woohoo! All right. Excellent job, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that trailer as much as I did. Such a great trailer. Really great trailer. All right. So moving on. So after where we left off, we get a little scene where it shows Hiramasuto, the older Japanese gentleman that is like one of Toranaga's underlings or whatever you want to call them. Basically, we see him at their original encampment, and it's on fire and ablaze, and basically he has to escape to warn Toranaga of the coming attack by Ishido. And basically we see he has to leave behind all the ladies behind, unfortunately, to escape because of course one of them's pregnant, and just it would make it faster for him to get to Toranaga to tell him what's going on. So we get that little scene. Then after that, we have a brief scene with the Portuguese, and basically the one priest guy there and one of the other like chaplain guys, they're having a conversation, basically kind of reiterating kind of their thought process on what they're trying to do and like what their end game is. And we kind of get a brief little kind of snippet of that again. Now, I've noticed that throughout the whole 6 episodes now, we've gotten little snippets of them kind of their plans and all that kind of stuff, but really nothing has really unfolded about it yet. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays into later on in the series, kind of how it plays out, and if that becomes a part of the war that they have to end up going into. So after that, then that's when we get to the part where we kind of get like a history lesson about Oshiba and kind of her past a little bit. We go from past to present for like, I would say at least 20 minutes straight, back and forth with her present day and back in time, basically showing her becoming a Chiba and going from her previous name that she went by when Mariko and her grew up by, and kind of her kind of rise to becoming the ruler of Japan's like heir bearer, basically, and kind of what she went through. And we go back and forth between that and kind of her and Ishido and kind of their plans of what they're trying to do, and her showing kind of her like reigning presence of what she's trying to do to stop Toranaga, because apparently as we find out as it goes on, she kind of iterates to Ishido at one point saying that it's Toranaga who killed my father and it's his fault, and that's why we got to get him, and why we're going through this whole thing to basically take him out. And we kind of get all that kind of little information there, which, like I said, I would say it's at least 20 minutes long, that we get all that kind of that feedback and stuff like that, and kind of her telling Oshiba what he's going to do as well. And as that's going on, we do have a scene where when Hiramasuto finally arrives and tells Toranaga what the impending disaster that's coming their way, and they kind of have a kind of a meeting together. And basically, they bring up the mention of Shogun again. They bring up the thoughts of like doing the I forget what they called it, the war itself, the Crimson something they called it.
Crimson Sky.
Yeah, thank you, Crimson Sky. And they kind of mentioned that, but Toranaga is like, no, we're not going to do the Crimson Sky because we're better than that, basically. And he kind of leaves it at that. So before we get into the kind of the finale of the episode, I want to get your guys' thoughts on that section of the episode, kind of that the backstory of Chiba, kind of her ideas and all kind of her presence and what's her kind of her hand, what hand she has on, what's going on with Ishido, and kind of what's going on with trying to get Toranaga and get him killed. And of course, we have the great scene where he is escaping the previous village, and basically all that kind of little accoutrement there, which I believe Mr. Pop Culture guy was talking about how it's kind of a filler episode. So I would say that's definitely a little bit of filler there to give you a little back history. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. Let's start with you, Justin.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the Ochiba backstory is very necessary here because, like, when we first kind of get introduced to Ochiba in like the earlier episodes, like you kind of see that the scene where she like kind of appears on the scene and like gives a little like squinty eye, like, "Hey, like I'm here, I'm fierce," that kind of thing, right? But like we don't really understand why. And then this episode really expands upon that, and we kind of see the reason why she's so jaded and the reason why she has kind of like this vendetta towards the like Toranaga and his clan. But so like that was very much necessary, and then transitioning that into kind of like this Toranaga trying to decide if he's going to execute the Crimson Sky. Like, is the situation that they're in that dire? They have to pull out all the stops and do the plan that they have been talking about for years, according to his council. Which he kind of plays it off like, no, we're not going to do it. But I kind of like think him being so smart and him in the know about everything, he kind of like he wants to do it, but he wants everybody to be in like full agreement. He wants everybody to be. So he says, no, we're not going to do it. When in all actuality, he knows like, yeah, we're going to do this thing. And it was all because he wanted to get everybody united under this one the idea of coming in and executing Crimson Sky together. Like, I don't know. It was very interesting the way he executed that. I feel like it was all like some underlying stuff there that he was secretly planning all along to deny it, only to bring it back up later on. But yeah, Ochiba stuff was great. The backstory was necessary.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Great job. Pop culture guy, are you there?
Yep.
Your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, the Lady Shijibo, flashback and all that was fantastic. I think it was very beautiful and well constructed on what she was feeling, and because it parallels well to Maruko's backstory as well, because both of them are both tragic female characters, and each one went from a different direction. I mean, you could argue that maybe. Well, I don't know if you can argue, but like both went in a different path that maybe they were not expecting. Obviously for Maruko, her father dying and getting wed, so quickly, and then you got her, going to this other direction that was maybe not what she would imagine. And I'm very curious how this affected her mind and how, like how she influenced the chancellor, because that's the part I'm very intrigued. Like how she's influenced this one general and tried to start the war, And so I'm very intrigued now where we're going to go with her character in this whole, war situation that she's probably going to be the reason that it's going to happen. But yeah, and of course the play that was going on that we saw briefly in the trailers that we saw now in this episode was really great, fantastic. It was very beautiful, and like it kind of paralleled to what we're seeing right now with both sides, of Japan, with Toranaga and this, empire chancellor thing. So, so that whole sequence was just very, just insightful of this other character. We briefly got introduced last episode, last few minutes of last episode 5. And so I think this was worth the wait and was really impactful for me. And the actress that played her was really great. I actually like her so far. So I'm hopefully get more of her in the story, because we need to know more. I need to know more about the other side and what's their end of the goal of defeating Toranaga and all that. But yeah, so overall, I really enjoyed this sequence. It's my favorite part about episode 6 so far.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. All right. Imran, your thoughts, sir.
Yo, Lady Ochiba, you don't mess around with this person. She burned down. You see the birds on fire? They lit birds on fire. This woman is ruthless. They've locked down the regents. She is taking command, and the whole, I think it's called No Theater. I think that evolves into Kabuki eventually. That scene was great. The whole episode is what it's about, roles about literal metaphorical performances. And we got a story within a story of Lady Ochiba. It was fantastic. And then Crimson Sky. How dope does that sound? I want to see what this is. And just like you said, Justin, Toranaga just saying all the right things. He's like, we're not going to do this. Find me another way. And he constantly says, I don't want to be Shogun. Just like Jon Snow, Game of Thrones, I don't want to be the king. But I wrote down what they said about Crimson Sky. The dude goes, a single violent rush on Osaka Castle. We would eliminate the council and form a new government with Toranaga as sole regent. I was like, oh, snap. Yeah, do that. Definitely do that. I want to see how that happens. So, yeah, this was that whole sequence is great. And Crimson Sky is going to be something to look forward to.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, I totally agree. That Crimson Sky sounds so cool. Like that would sound like a really cool band name.
Yes.
Or like a really cool, like movie title.
Yes, it's definitely a movie like Crimson Tide or something.
Hey, Crimson Sky was a really good original Xbox game back on the original Xbox. If you haven't played
it Crimson? Was it the plane? You play?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That. Yes, I had
Dogfights. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
OG.
Great, guys. Excellent. Sir Jeff, your thoughts, sir?
Well, just to be clear, I didn't want to win the Shogun Award on the panel tonight and whatnot and everything, but God bless me with the true knowledge gifts and everything and whatnot. So I might just have to grab that bitch. I'm sorry. I feel bad, but no, to bounce off everybody else, to bounce off Imran, who's good to follow off of. Basically, I mean, of course, Crimson Sky sounds dope as shit. Wasn't there Crimson Tide?
Yeah, it's a submarine movie.
That was a decent movie. Yeah,
Denzel, absolutely.
I'm sure Cyber, you probably like that one.
Tony Scott.
Yeah, that was a good film, but no, it sounds good, but it doesn't sound like Toranaga's deal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like you wouldn't think that would be his move. The whole idea was they wanted to draw Ashido's forces in to them and fight from a defensive position and whatnot, and bottleneck them and be able to control the battleground, right? Like that was that be able to use the town or the port as a strategic bottleneck point to funnel the fighters and whatnot and everything, and be able to not have to use as many numbers to defend their position. So they didn't show us, they haven't shown us the scope of Shido's forces, for one thing, right? Like I know I believe that each one of the regions has their own sort of almost like army or whatever, right? Essentially. So we don't know what his numbers are going to be like. Or what it's going to take to take the castle. It sounds dope though. I think that now we've gone as far as where it's already been established, hasn't it, Cyber, that we had the negotiation already happen, right, with Lady Jin.
We go all the way to when Crimson Sky is talked about, and Toranaga says no to Crimson Sky. Okay,
so I thought that the scene of the negotiation between Mariko and Lady Jin was probably one of the two best scenes out of the whole episode. That, and of course the scene with the concubine.
That's afterwards.
I know. I'm just mentioning it. I'm just mentioning that scene too. I think that the scene with the negotiator, Mariko and Jin together, and then just a little bit of Fuji that we get, where she does some facial movement acting. There's no vocal anything and whatnot. Everything is just her reacting. Is really one of the best scenes, one of the most well written and well directed scenes of the episode. The directing in this episode is fucking outstanding. Like literally, whoever again that I mentioned earlier that directed this episode killed it. The pacing of it and this show just they flow so well, but that negotiation conversation I just felt like was so well written, just really, really, really intriguing, and really shows just more about their customs, right? At that time period and whatnot, like how things worked, and I love seeing Anasawi flex Mariko's character like that. I do, and I found it interesting that Omi already is already starting to, like, at this point and whatnot, he already is starting to talk shit about the savage, right? The barbarian, whatever, whatnot, and all that. He already has a distaste for him, right? We'll wait till later. You know what I'm saying? He's really going to get pissed. Wait till next episode. He's going to be fucking super pissed. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to cut it off right there. I'm like you said, Cyber. I'm going to take your advice, sir. I'm going to kiss a little ass and save the best for last.
Ah, okay. Great job, sir. Very good. Very good. All right. T-Roll, your thoughts, sir.
All right. So best for last, is that me right here?
Of course.
Two quick things I'd say about this section of the show. Ochiba, like her, she's got these crazy eyes, man. Like, she's got this look in her eye throughout the whole episode that is frightening. And just the way that she talks, like it's very subtle, soft spoken, but it's deadly. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be like death by 1,000 cuts, man. So I
She's
think
calculated. She's very calculated for sure.
Yeah, very calculated. And then again, back to my boy Yabashigi. All right, like when they're talking about the Crimson Sky, literally go watch again. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, and then he's like in that room. He's like, what is Crimson Sky? Like, this guy is just like, he's so many steps behind, and I love his character, but you could just see he's just like,
that's great. What is that?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that, I feel like, once again, another scene with him where he's
well,
like,
T-Roll, he was the initial one that meets that courtesan in episode 1 in that famous sex scene.
Yeah. Which I guess he'd do something there, but I mean, a lot of the show, it feels like he's looking around like, what the heck's going on?
Totally.
Well, if he wasn't playing both sides, then he probably would be more in the know. But he's like
Blackthorn, right, Justin? He's like Blackthorn, except without the Danny Award ish.
Yeah.
Well, and that would make sense.
Just commit.
Neither side is going to tell him anything because they both know he's playing both sides.
Honestly, you know what it reminds me of? I don't know if you guys are. This is a shout out to my boy Justin here, but we're big fans of the show Community, and it honestly, if anyone's ever seen that, it's like the scene in the second paintball episode when Chang is running around blindfolded. And he's like, "Does anybody have an alliance I can join?" And it's literally like he's just looking for somewhere to fit in, So.
Wait, how much do you guys think that Crimson Sky may actually be a distraction, based, Jeff, on what you were saying? We don't know.
Imran with Toranaga, you never fucking know. Man.
It's a diversion and something he knows the real plan. They're gonna sneak in on the side and get him.
He could have a hidden military that we don't even know about.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, excellent, guys. Very good, very good. Thank you, T-Roll. Very good. All right, yeah. I mean, Crimson Sky could be totally a Rouge. It totally could be. I mean, that's a very possibility. Just like everyone's saying before, how Toranaga himself kind of is, like playing both sides as well. Like the things with Blackthorn, where it's like he somewhat believes and somewhat doesn't. It's that same type of deal. I feel it's definitely he knows what he's doing, but also at the same time, I think he does have some sort of like for Blackthorn. So I definitely could see that Crimson Sky being kind of similar to that. So very good, guys. All right. So the final part of this episode takes us to the part that Jeff has wanted to talk about the most. This is where it starts off where Mariko makes all the arrangements for Blackthorn to go to the brothel. And she's speaking with Lady Jin, and they have their whole conversation and everything like that, gets everything settled up. Then, Mariko goes and gets Blackthorn and brings them to the brothel, and they get there, and we have kind of that before they get there. We kind of have the brief scene with the nephew and the Coruscant, and kind of her saying, he doesn't mean anything to me. You're the one that means something to me. Kind of getting that little thought process there, and so they end up going to there, and Mirko is translating for the Coruscant for Blackthorn, and they have this tea section where they're drinking these different teas, and eventually the Coruscant says, let's go to a private room, and Blackthorn goes kind of willingly like, oh, okay, okay, and basically then it breaks to the next morning, and he's coming out from the brothel, and basically says thank you, and basically leaves. And of course we can't forget the little scene where Mariko's face gives a lot of expression when the Coruscant's talking about certain things, and you can definitely see that she has feelings for Blackthorn, and so we can't forget that. But after he leaves the brothel and goes his way, that's basically when we go to the Toranaga and the fellas all getting together again and having a conversation, and basically having kind of going around and talking about what's going on. We have a sequence too before that happens. A sequence before that with Ishido and Oshiba, and her kind of putting her foot down for what needs to go on next. They have kind of like a get together to try to get enough regents to say, let's take out Toranaga. Of course, we have that one regent that says no, and so basically he ends up gonna flee the city, and Oshiba tells Ishido to kill him, and he goes and kills him. And after he gets killed, we see the whole clan slaughtered. That's when we go to that second meeting with Toranaga and all the people in the city that they're in, and basically Crimson Sky becomes a possibility, and that's how the episode ends. So, what are you guys' thoughts on the end of this episode? What did you think about the whole brothel sequence and the conversation between Mariko and Jin? And what did you think about Crimson Sky becoming kind of possibility now from Toranaga's standpoint? And what did you think about Ishido being this like pawn and this like basically dirty worker for Achiba at the end of this episode? Starting with Pop Culture Guy, please.
Sure. Yeah, so this section was very how you say what's the feeling? Aroused when we got to the brothel between Blackthorn and
you were around, sir?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, their relationship.
Whitey tighties. Oh, still turns me on.
No, that's not what it is. The Miracle and Blackthorn.
They turned me on.
Oh, fuck you. And fuck you, Larson, sir. Anyway, the Christmas guy was here. I was so like, okay, what's going to happen here with this relationship? And it was not that like they love each other. I can't believe they're trying to hide the fact. I mean, literally everyone from the village knows what's going on here. And I mean, it was so funny when she's trying to translate this to Blackthorn. It just was so awkward and just like, oh my god. It's just, I was cracking up. It was like, and then later on when, they see her again and they were like, oh, he, want to say thank you and all that, what you did for him last night. So it was a very funny moment, but
I thought it was romantic. What do you mean funny?
Yeah. Thank you. I was about to say, hold on. You thought it was
that was a very powerful.
It was funny for me a little bit. I mean, it was just awkward, like romantic.
Wait, so if your girlfriend did that to you, you would laugh?
I warned you, T-Roll, about the time cop guy.
It's erotically hilarious.
Erotically hilarious. Yes, that's probably I should be more. It's more like that. So
And that aroused him. That aroused him.
No, it was Cat Debris.
No, fuck you, Cat.
Applesauce turns him on.
Oh my god. Oh please. No. Anyway, I'm sorry, folks. This is supposed to be a critical analysis show about Shogun, not about sex and rouse. I'm so sorry, folks. I should not have done that. Anyway, no, I was joking. I was still aroused. Anyway, but no, I mean, no, the scene was wonderful, and I mean the actress.
Applesauce.
Oh my applesauce. God. Can we say something orange? I'm more of an orange guy, but anyway, no, that's not the point. The actress that plays Margot did such a wonderful job of like showing her conflict. No, my massage is what is it? Miss Marvel, not She-Hulk. Anyway, don't take it. Miss Marvel, Margot Robbie version. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, but yeah. So I thought that sequence was
Miss Marvel is underage character, sir.
I'm talking about Margot Robbie, Matt, sir. If you know your comic book, sir. So anyway, that's not the point. Going into the next section, the counselor part, I was surprised that other guy say no. You think he will go along with the plan that they all three of them in that room agree on, but the fact that he say no was very shocking to me. But I mean, of course, he's with the Catholic Church or whatever, the church people there in Japan. He had a very different mind and plan about Taranaka and all that. So I was very shocked that Lady Shield convinced the other person, the general, whatnot, to kill him, and I was shocked about that. Like the fact that he dies in this film, this episode was just like wow, and it was so brutal, and I was just like was kind of shocked and it's very surprised. And then towards the end of the episode, I really liked the speech that Taranaka did, tried to rally his army and his generals and send commands and whatnot, to prepare for the war. So that was such a great speech. And by the way, the actor that plays Taranaka, wonderful actor. He just kills it every time when he does a speech or talk to someone. That last scene was just so awesome, and like he delivers this so well. Amazing actor. I'm very happy he's getting the spotlight finally. But anyway, that's all I had to say about this section. I really enjoyed it. As I say before, this was a filler episode, but this part made us
wait a minute. That was a filler episode? What the fuck?
Shut the fuck. Shut the fuck. Shut the fuck. Let me talk, sir.
If you're trying to score late points or some shit with this shit, it ain't working.
No, I'm not. I don't want scores. I just want to talk, and that's it. So shut the fuck up. Anyway, Jeff, whatever your name is. Anyway, so overall, it was a great filler episode. It just moved us to the next 3 episodes. That is the war we want to see in Shogun. So that's it. Thank you, everyone. I'm excited to hear your guys' thoughts because Jeff is gonna just talk over me, and he's such a rude and evil man. Anyway, bye.
All right, so that wonderful speech there, 60-Minute Man, just lost you 10,000 points, especially because you are into applesauce, and you just that just was weird, bro. That was just weird. So yeah, 10,000 points deducted. Jeff gets that 10,000 points just because he had to deal with you saying "fuck you" 3 times. So he's in the lead now. Anyways, Wrath of Khan. Same question to you, sir, the end of the episode, and then also anything you'd like to add about the sections you weren't here for.
Okay, so the sections I wasn't here for, you guys nailed it, so I'm not going to add anything there. It feels great to be back after breaking the fast, so thanks for you guys' flexibility.
What?
You can keep talking.
Okay. Okay, here is This is the part I was so excited to talk about. The brothel scene. Okay, let's go from what's the part I want to talk about?
The brothel.
Have you noted? Say, Jeff?
The brothel scene.
Yeah, okay. So remember how when Lady Kiku was talking, she said this phrase, and this phrase like caught my attention. It goes, "A woman can't look away when another suffers."
Mm-hmm.
And just from that sentence, I had that feeling that Lady Kiku knew that Maiko didn't like it, that Toranaga has Blackthorn going to her for pleasure. Like you could just sense the jealousy in Maiko.
In her role as like the top, not the biggest, the best courtesan in Japan, she does what she does with some really influential people, on a regular basis, not right. So like it's a part of her job to read people.
Yeah, and I will add though that the way I like she like carries her.
Jesse, you have as much time as you fucking want, bro.
I know. I'm taking my time.
You don't have to add one more thing. Just talk.
Okay. I do like that outside of, the jealousy part, I do like that we learn about the difference between prostitutes in Europe and prostitutes in Japan, where in Europe, people become prostitutes for survival because they can't find other work. So they just offer themselves, right? Like they don't even focus on like creating like a first-class service. But in Japan, prostitution is like a profession, even considered like a noble profession, because even the other guy, what's the guy's name?
Omi.
Yeah, Omi, like he's like higher class and he's dating Kiku. Like yeah. Just like the attitude towards prostitution, we just see it more in this part. Like we understand why prostitution seems higher class in Japan compared to like in Europe. So that is that. I do find it interesting that when Lady Kiku was saying that people go to her to like escape the issues of the world, I don't know why. I got the sense that Blackthorn doesn't even care much about the issues in the world to where he just wants to escape. Like if anything, he's just content. He doesn't seem like the type that wants to escape.
He wants to escape Japan. That's the thing.
That's all.
Yeah, but that's it. Otherwise,
Literally.
like he doesn't. Yeah, but otherwise he doesn't want to go into like the spiritual world. Like, do you guys get that sense?
Yeah, I don't think he gets it at all. Just goes over his head.
Yeah, I remember Jeff said in the beginning, or I think in the studio, how he's willing to bet $10 that Blackthorn did not pillow Lady Kiku.
I was just joking. He stuck it to Lady.
I think he definitely did, though. Come on, you saw them afterwards. I mean, hey, Mariko was invited.
He did,
right? She invited Mariko. She's like, "Come on."
Honestly, Mariko, I think Mariko should lose 500 points off that shit. I thought she was going to nut up and go in there.
Honestly, so hey, Jackson, I would say to your point about the whole a woman can't look away when another suffers. I think you're right, but I want to add that I also caught the sense that it might have been like a double-edged sword, where I don't think Kiku wants to be with Blackthorn in this.
I agree.
And so I think she was almost saying like, you can't bail on me. I need you to watch because.
Oh yeah.
And then she even invites her. She even invites her, and then Mariko says no. And I just feel like it was probably a dual meaning kind of.
She wanted to watch Blackfoot stick it to Mariko so she could watch like Yakushibi. Right?
Yeah, he's the barbarian. Nobody wants to do anything with the barbarian. It was almost like
even if it's a Hatamoto.
Yeah, now he's a Hatamoto. Yeah, he's a general, and he's the barbarian. Nobody didn't want them.
I did like how after the night, it's like you can see like Lady Kiku, Blackthorn, and the old whore just like all walking to the town. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's Lady Kiku. Oh, she looks so pretty." And in my mind, I'm like, have they never seen her before? Like, you guys are in the same town. How have you not seen her before? I just don't understand that. And then, what was it? Remember how in that scene, it's like as they were leaving, like Umi was just looking at Lady Kiku. Lady Kiku just looked at him briefly and just like felt disgusted. Yeah. Otherwise, I will leave the rest to you guys.
Thank you, Rathacon. Justin, your thoughts, sir, on the conclusion of the episode?
All right, yeah, great. All right, so this brothel scene, we've been kind of leading up to this brothel scene this whole episode, and I'm gonna go on a limb here and say like this brothel scene might have been like peak television, like the way they did some of the cinematography here, especially like when
I'm with you on Justin 100%. I'm with you 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Like when Mariko is like translating and Kiku kind of like adjusts her seating to go kind of behind Mariko, and the two kind of blend. Like as she translates, there you can kind of hear like Kiko's voice kind of fade out, and it's all Mariko speaking to him, and it's like so intimate and so one-on-one. And like we're talking about a brothel scene here, and not a single tit is shown. Like you are here, you're glued to this conversation because they're kind of building the emotion between Mariko and Blackthorn, but the whole thing there is that Kiku's the one who's gonna fulfill the pleasure aspect of it, and so like just the tease, the back and forth, and then finally with it like culminating to like the camera like kind of pans out, and it's actually Kiku who's getting up and inviting into the room, and that subtle hand over Mariko that Blackthorn just reaches for her, kind of like wait, like don't go, that kind of thing, and then she like leaves the room and doesn't even look back at him. Like she doesn't even acknowledge that he made that move, because she kind of was pouring her heart out while she was translating for Kiku. And to be honest with you, when Kiku faded out, like was that really what Kiku was saying, or is that what she was feeling? And I mean that's the great aspect of that scene, is that it's left for interpretation. Like it's kind of one and the same. Like they bleed together, and I think that has to do with like, Kiku's ability to just provide that service at the elite level that she is supposedly known for. I mean, that was just peak television. And like I said, like you don't really talk about a brothel scene and then no tits shown. Like that's it. Like it's the emphasis there is like it's huge because it was so much deeper than that. It was on a much more like emotional level. And then that transitions to like the walk of shame, kind of like all the villagers are kind of waiting at the bottom of the stairs. Like they know where he's coming from. They know who the Jin is and who Kiku is, and like the look of shame that Blackthorn had on his face when he looked back at Mariko. Like he did the deed for sure. Like I know Jeff did a playful bet at the beginning, but yeah, no, he definitely laid pipe for sure. And but that look of shame, like he's like I did this because it was what's best for us, kind of at the time. And then that transitions over to the war room, or the council meeting, where they kill off the other regent, and which, by the way, I don't think that was a very smart move on Ashida's part, because now he needs two members of the council rather than like
vote's off.
Yeah, exactly. The vote's off again.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. Vote's off again. So now we're prolonging this, which then gives Toranaga a chance to execute Crimson Sky, which that scene at the end, like Toranaga's speech, like I'll run through a wall for that guy, man. I'm gonna like that speech and me ready to go freaking bust through that wall, man, because he looked the part. Like the costume design here was absolutely incredible. He's sitting there on this very small chair, might I add, and he is dressed in this like from head to toe in this drip that is just insane. And he gives a speech about we're gonna do it. We're gonna execute Crimson Sky. I'm gonna go to my half brother. We're gonna unite our army, and we're gonna just enact Crimson Sky. And then he does his like hip hip hooray, kind of like and they like I was doing that here. I was standing up in my living room watching this scene. I'm like, okay, let's get it, guys. Let's freaking do this. Such a great episode, man. Like Shogun, it's so great that like they're keeping the authenticity of like the Japanese, because like I'm a huge anime fan, like diehard. I'm wearing a Yu Yu Hakusho shirt. But the need to focus in on the subtitles, like it draws you in. Like you are so hanging on every word, because literally you need to understand what they're saying, that you are engulfed in this storyline now, because you're there, you're in it. And dude, peak episode of this last scene. I loved it, man. It was so great. Not a filler at all. Sorry, Andres, but yeah.
No worries. No worries. We have
Hey, Cyber, do you think I could cut in line and follow up with my points right after Justin here real quick?
Go for it.
All right. Okay, so I'll just say real quick, I think what's amazing, and you finished by talking about the ending, Justin, but the most important thing of this section, technically, is the fact that another regent is killed off, and the whole scene at the end with Toranaga's speech. That should be the most important thing because it moves the storyline of the war along. But yet we are talking about an intimate scene with no sex at a brothel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that just goes to show you how well this episode was shot and directed and produced. So I'll be brief there, but I just think like they so creatively use that moment where Mariko is translating to where she's translating from Kiku, but really like that's what she wants to say to Blackthorn, you know? And it was just shot so perfectly to where it really kind of overshadows the impending war, to be honest with you. So once again, hats off to the whole crew that put this episode together. Just amazing.
Excellent. Did you want to say anything else to roll on the conclusion of the episode?
No, I think I'll land it there, man. A lot's already been said, but just again, overall, so much was told with so little action, and I just don't think. We've said it a lot tonight, but I don't want that to be. I want to celebrate that. I really do want to celebrate that. You know, I don't need a ton of, which we did see some beheadings, ironically, but I don't need a ton of heads coming off. I don't need a ton of action. I want some more. I want more of it. But the fact that they were able to do so much with so little action, it's just so impressive. And yeah, I'm excited for it.
Excellent. Thank you. Imran, your thoughts are on the conclusion of the episode.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off T-Roll, this whole show is a perfect example of show, don't tell. This is why everything is great. They are showing us things. That brothel scene, oh my God, the most hottest scene without any sex. Like the tension, the restraint in the acting, the writing, the directing that you mentioned. And it's why I'm so happy for her in this role because I just watched, I don't know if you guys watch Monarch on Apple TV Plus. She was also on that, and she was the most annoying fucking character on that show, making the dumbest decisions.
The
and
worst.
I'm like, bro, this girl is so
amen,
hot.
bro. Amen.
Oh my God, all those kids in the present storyline. I was like, you kids are idiots. I don't know how you're the future of Monarch. You're dum-dums. But in this one, you see her kill it. You see her giving good direction, good writing. Now, the whole time, the way she's translating in this show, she's essentially on the spot, like rewriting the script. She's got to think about what can I say that's not going to cause someone to get killed every time she translates. So that moment when she's in the third person and she shifts to the first person is so huge. And you're like, oh shit, this is really what she thinks. This is her. And Kiko just nails it. And you see her getting worked up, like getting hot while she's translating, and the brush on the hand is just like, it's so hot. Also, it's amazing. That's the little thing. And like the weird, you notice the shot of her neck. There's just like one shot of her neck with all the layers on. It was, and the way Kiko blurs out, the cinematography, the directing, top notch. I absolutely agree, Justin. That was the whole thing. Peak fucking television. That's how you do it. Everything is right. And then, yeah, killing of Shugiyama is interesting because they didn't just kill him. They killed all the women that were with him, all the kids. Like, if you are even friends with someone who is not on the same page, you're in danger. That's not enough. Like, they're not just going to kill him. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill your whole family. I'm going to kill your next family, your next generation. They don't mess around. So at the end, when Toranaga's like, Crimson Skies a go, he cleverly takes this defeat, turns it around, uses it as a hype speech to get people rallied when he just lost all his troop. And we said earlier, we know he's going to do this. And he just, at the end, he's like, let's do this. I was like, let's go. Let's go Crimson Sky and on. So, yeah, the brothel scene is absolutely the best part of this whole show, that this series, this episode that has no action, but it's got so many amazing lines and amazing moments.
Excellent. Thank you. Andreas, are you permanent blackface right now, sir?
Funny.
Because you're blackface right now, sir. So it'd be nice to see your face, you know. Just FYI.
I'm ugly. That's why I'm hiding myself.
What?
Anyway.
What?
He found it. He found an
Sorry.
orange, so he's good now. He's occupied for the next couple
Ugly?
hours.
You're ugly. What
He's
the
got a
fuck is
great
that
fruit
shit?
or something
What are you,
like
a woman on PMS? Come on, fucking show your face. God damn.
Gee, man, you guys want to see my face?
Yes. Yes, you're a part of the panel. You're supposed to be on the panel, sir.
I would do you before I would do that bearded chick that Jassim showed me earlier.
I mean, look at this face. If I can come on with this, you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, for real.
You're making me look. You're making me
No,
look.
no.
You're not exactly a much Instagram model looking motherfuckers over here, if you haven't noticed.
Right.
Anyways, thank you for coming back, sir. That just so gracious of you, Sir Time Cop. Anyways, Jeff, why don't you bring us to the tilt there with your end of the episode thoughts, sir?
Well, I apologize. Jassim is actually a very handsome young man, so he could be Instagram model material. You never know.
Thank you, Jeff.
Who knows? I wouldn't know.
I'll second that. I'll second that.
I think out of all of us, he would probably he has the best.
He's a healthy, looking young man.
Absolutely.
A lot of
I'm the youngest guy on this panel, so
You got youth on his side. That's you.
Andres, it's good to see you back alive, sir. I was concerned about your welfare over there. With your time slipping and time, skipping and whatnot and all that, everything. I didn't know if you'd gone to a different dimension or whatever.
He was busy regenerating. That's what it was.
Oh, were you trying to de-escalate from your arousing, all the arousing? You were
No.
trying to deflate.
If you understand what regeneration means, I'm turning into a different person. If you've
Yeah,
seen
he's
Dr.
Jody Whittaker right now. He's singing the Jody Whittaker.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh
he's
my
doing.
god, Jody Whittaker, yeah. Oh no. I have a crazy storm right now in my area, and my unit got cut off. So I just want to make sure that I don't.
Oh, what do you got? What do you got? What do you got? Winter weather?
I don't know. We're supposed to be in spring, right? But
Kelly said to me earlier in the chat that they had snow coming in Maine tonight.
Well, I'm in Chicago. It was snowing today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here too.
Yeah. So I'll jump. I'm sure Andres probably has some things to say, but I'll jump in first. I just want to everybody, basically the Thunder's already gotten stolen from the Bravo seed. All I'm going to say about it is I had to point it out first. That's why I did it first and said out of order that it was one of the two, what I thought the two best scenes of the episode. Right. Now I understand what Andres means when he means that it's a filler episode. He means it's episode 6, right? Episode 6 in a 10 episode series. Just so you know, Jassim, just like a 6 episode series, episode 4 or 5 is like a sandwich episode, always kind of, right?
Yeah.
In a 10 episode series, especially limited series, episode 6, 7, 8, those episodes usually are going to be your filler episode type material. But the question always is, what's the quality of that filler going to be? Well, when it comes to Shogun, their filler is like, is like the shit that still doesn't stink, right? So they've got so many different good, strong characters to work with, and yet we're chapter 6 into 10 chapters, and yet they're still introducing us to new characters essentially, right? That are key characters in the series. That's great, storytelling and great creative thinking and whatnot in terms of how to lay out the series as far as the story, right? The timing of the chapters, right? The series has been very fluid from episode to episode. The episodes are complete. Each chapter is complete. The finish of it is the complete finish leading into the next chapter. There's nothing lingering. There's nothing where you're like, okay, what's going on with that? There's finite ending to each chapter. That just indicates to really good storytelling and great writing per chapter. And it just amazes me that they whoever decided to hire the people who wrote all these episodes, these different writers and these different directors, they're gonna, when this series is done, that person and these creative names and whatnot, these executive producers, are gonna be asked to go do a lot of really big shit. I'm telling you. off this. Hats off to Hiroyuki Sanada, right, for all the work he put into this. But Anna Soe has just killed it in this episode. She's just great. For a while there, I thought that Cosmo Jarvis as Blackfoot was really coming strong. But these last 2 chapters or so, 3 chapters, Mariko has really bounced back and like really put herself prominent in the show. The brothel scene was so well done that almost like that should get an Emmy on its own. Just that scene. And what I would say, T-Roll and Justin, would be, how do we not know that Lady Kiko wasn't playing politics in that situation? We don't know what happened in that room with Blackthorn. What he might have said. He was drinking sake, fucking, you know, who knows how long they were, when they went to sleep,
That's a good point, man. That's a really good point.
You know what I'm saying? And honestly, how do we not know that she's not trying to set up something and whatnot, everything to try to feed information to Omi and stoke him
But
up?
Jeff, what's the incentive though?
Because she could play both sides and go over by Oshidu and fucking Lady Uchiba, right? And gain this prestige, money, financially. She's a fucking courtesan. You know what I'm
So
saying?
basically betray Tornaga.
Why not? She doesn't have any fucking, she doesn't care about Tornaga.
That's why he said Mariko, though. I feel
She's a
like
courtesan.
he needs to make sure.
She's a courtesan. And we already know that she's playing games with Omi politically, like, you know, kind of sparking him to like make moves on his own and shit and whatnot. She has her own
That's
agenda.
true.
So she could very easily use Omi to go after Blackthorn or out them. Because she knows that Mariko and Blackthorn are fucking. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, Blackthorn, I'm telling you, man, like he's so ungrateful, and then he doesn't take advantage of chance. He already had a threesome with Fuji and Mariko if he wanted to, right? Like Fuji will pillow with him anytime he asks, and he don't even try for that shit. I would have already done it. It'd already be a done deal, straight up. I would have nailed Fuji and Mariko separately and together already. And I would have banged the courtesan too. And
I thought you were gonna bring all 3 of them.
I would have made Mariko come in. Yeah, I wouldn't have allowed that. Her leaving.
And you're gonna bring Fuji too, right?
No, I would have told her she had to come in because I mean I'm the whatever the fucking the whatever his title is, right?
Hatamoto.
Hatamoto. So I would just tell her like you need to fucking come in here and handle your business and do some translating for me in here in the bedroom and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Jeff, you are not in this show, sir, so you can't be a part of it.
Well, Fuji is being seriously sexually neglected, so I'm not happy. You know, seriously, it's not right. It's not fair to Fuji, right? She's not pillowing nobody, so that's not going to work. I'm not happy with not seeing Fuji very much in this episode, but I did like her one little scene. And as far as the whole deal with Toranaga and his like rah-rah speech, if that was left of what he asked for his army, that was like 17 dudes, they're fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously. That earthquake devastated his shit, man. I'm just kidding.
That's why he's asking his brother for help.
Yeah.
His brother's no, I'm just saying though, like, you know, that's crazy that earthquake destroyed his entire army. He shows up with this massive army, the earthquake destroys it.
Yeah.
The fuck is that? Anyway, so my final words just are that overall, yeah, I would fucking, if Toranaga fucking told me to seppuku right now, I would do it. You know what I'm saying? He was wearing that like fucking Japanese fucking do-rag shit there at the end and whatnot, everything, flossing. I was like, hell yeah, baby. When he fucking does it, I'm like, yeah, baby, let's go. Let's fucking do it. So yeah, I'd be down too, Justin. I would go Shogun motherfuckers. If Toranaga was like, let's roll. I'd be like, let's roll, baby. Just send me over there to fucking see that courtesan first.
There you go, folks.
With Fuji and Mariko.
There you go, folks. That's
I can have my foursome, Rathacon.
That's Jeff's take on it. Jesus Christ. It all became a part of him. It all came back to him. Him having a foursome with these Japanese ladies.
I'm existentially living through Blackfoot.
He's living through Blackburn, people. There you go. Excellent job, Jeff. Another 10,000 points for you, sir. You did great, sir. Great. All right. Okay, so I think everyone's said their ending, have they not?
Andres might have some final words.
Did you? I already went to you, Andres, didn't I? Yes, that's what I thought.
Can I just mention two more great, fantastic lines? There were so many great lines, and these two happened at the end.
It's not about Fuji. Fuck no.
No, well, it's not about Fuji. It's when Toranaga is talking to Mariko, because now he knows Mariko and Ochiba grew up, right? And I feel like he's going to use her as kind of an inside person into the inside of Ochiba. But he's like, you know, Lady Ochiba, what would make someone act like this? And she's like, you know, men have all sorts of reasons to go for war. But she goes, a woman is simply at war, all the time. I was like, oh, dope. That's deep. And then Ochiba at the end, when she's talking to Oshido, she's reprimanding him because she's not happy with what she's doing. And she's like, I finally, I gave the Taiko an air and got the power. He's like, how did you do it? And she goes, by compelling fate to look at me so I could scratch its
eyes out. Yeah.
Oh my God. I was like, oh, what a line. Both of those. What a line. Ochiba's line at the end is amazing. Like, you don't mess with Lady Ochiba.
Imran, it's all here.
She's actually a rich.
Imran, it's all here, bro.
Oh my God,
all those lines, they're
so
all
good. There's so many good
They're
ones.
all in parentheses in here.
Yeah, that was pretty freaky at the end with Ochiba. I was like, we're about to hear some freaking Japanese magic crap right now.
Yeah,
like, I don't know what she was
like that Zool data Zool chick that I'm bagging, that I'm seeing or whatnot. That Cyber knows about or whatnot. Very similar.
Hey, if we're talking about great lines, we got to mention one that happened in the very beginning where Toranaka is talking about. He said that death is the affirmation of life, and this the send off. That was great. He was talking about all the people that died from the earthquake. Such a great, powerful line. So good.
Excellent job, everyone. Awesome. So we're gonna go around the table, and you're gonna give your rating on the episode overall. The rating is between 1 through 10. So starting with you, Jeff.
I'm gonna give the episode a 9.5. I'm gonna deduct 0.25 points because of not enough Fuji. And I'm going to deduct 0.25 points because Lady Mariko did not nut up and go in the room with the fucking courtesan with fucking Blackfoot. That would have been dope.
All right, T-Roll.
Oh man, almost made the whole show without forgetting to unmute. I would say, I'd say we'll go 9.1. How's that?
All right.
Is that good enough? You want me to go higher?
That's good enough. That's great. Hey, that's what you want to give it. All right, Imran, yours.
I mean, listen, like you said, Jeff, the episode 6, this is like the start of the back half, the start of the second half. And I feel like these episodes can be bunched together. And the last one ending on the earthquake was amazing. But even as an episode 6 in the middle, it was amazing. I mean, I easily give this, I'll go like 8.75. It was a great start to the second half, kind of shifting your focus to some other characters and then still keeping it top-notch prestige level.
Excellent. Justin.
Yeah, brothel scene alone, 10 out of 10 for sure, but overall episode, 9 out of 10. Great episode.
All right. Awesome. Andrea?
I give it a 9 out of 10. It's a strong episode. Not my favorite of the 5 episodes, but it's really great. It's amazing. But the show is still great. I have no complaints.
Excellent. Rathacon, 1 to 10, sir.
I'm going to give it a 9 as well. As Justin said, the brothel scene, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, as much as I want more of those, I am willing to trust the creators to create something as equally amazing as that.
Excellent.
For the future episodes.
Awesome. Thank you. I give it a solid 10 out of 10. It entertained me. That's all that matters. And that's why I give it a 10. Fantastic episode. All right, guys. Excellent. So that is the end of the episode review. I'm going to head it over to Mr. True Knowledge himself, and he'll take us out.
There you go, folks. It's time to plug. Now, we only have plugs for our creators here. So, unfortunately, Mr. Rathacon, until you provide me with something to work with for plugs besides the bearded, dude, chick, whatever, whatnot, which I'll try to give that your plug.
Bro, I don't have anything. Okay, relax. Something's in the works.
Okay, I'm just messing with you, man. Calm down. You did a great job tonight. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
You brought the thunder, baby. You nailed it. Just like Blackthorn nailed that courtesan, baby. Hell yeah. You know how Blackfoot gets down. All right, let's start with Mr. Cyberneticshark first. Mr. Cyberneticshark. Well, sorry about butchering your name there, sir. Have at it. That was a great leeway to you, right? Very professional.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So, as always, if you enjoy me here as the moderator or on the panel of the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, you can check out my solo content. You'll find me under Cyberneticshark on YouTube, TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon. You can find me pretty much anywhere. My most content is provided on the YouTube here. And as you see there, I most recently put up my take on the trailer reaction to the upcoming Crow reboot. Got that, and I have officially gotten over 1,000 subscribers officially, finally. So thank you to all the new subscribers, all the new traffic, all the new guests, all the old subs too. You guys are rocking it. Thank you very much for subscribing and watching. You guys are rocking it. As you can see there, like I said, the Crow, I'll be having a few more reviews and trailer reactions up for you guys soon. I have, of course, my Godzilla vs. X Kong New Empire reaction coming out soon, movie review. Also, I'll have a review of Lisa Frankenstein, which just dropped on Peacock this past week. And I also will have another trailer reaction up for you guys soon. Up and coming movie. I can't remember which one it is, but I know I did another recent one. But yeah, just keep on trucking, people. Next on to 2,000 subs, 5,000, 10 hopefully after that. Just want to thank all of them, and yeah, keep on watching, people. Let's help Andres get to that 1,000 magic.
He's almost there. I'll go to him next. He just got closer from the last time that I actually plugged with him on Monday. I think he already went up, right, Andres?
He went up 2.
Yeah, a little bit. Not too much. Hello, guys. Praise Pop Culture Guy. This is my channel. The channel presents. Yeah, I'm up to 921 subscribers, so that's good. I'm just working on a couple projects right now. I'm gonna release a couple of videos. Big one, live stream review. Me, Jeff, and hopefully some guests to do a Winter Soldier, Captain America Winter Soldier review. So that'll be on April 7th. 9:35 p.m. Eastern, so I can move up the time so we can have a lot of time to discuss that amazing Captain America sequel. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Thank you so much, everyone, for the MCU Bleeding Edge community for helping me and Cyber to reach this mark for 2024. Hopefully, I get to it very soon, which I will probably in the next couple days or whatever it will be. So thank you so much.
Don't forget, we got Chucky coming up too.
Oh yes, and of course, me and Jeff will be back to do the Chucky Part 2 of Season 3. I'm very excited about it. Love Chucky, great character, slasher, monster. So I'm very excited to talk that again with Jeff. And I want to say thank you, the new guests here for the Shogun episode 6. You guys were awesome. It was amazing to talk to you guys. I hope we'll see you guys again. It was a pleasure to meet you guys. And Con, it was great to see you again as well.
Likewise.
All right. Royal Geek Podcast, you are on the slate.
All right. Yeah, so I'll speak for me and Justin here. As you'll see, our YouTube is not as far along as y'all's are. We only got 2 subscribers. There you go. Appreciate it. Yeah, we used to do, just to be honest with you guys, we used to do videos for all of our shows, and just with our schedules, we kind of started slowing down. We all live in the same town, so we get together as best we can in person. But we slowed down on doing the video, but we do push a lot of our content on our Apple Podcast and Spotify and Google as well. So, but yeah, check us out wherever you can. Right now we're reviewing X-Men 97 weekly. Really enjoying that show. I'm sure you guys are checking that out as well. We've got a lot of episodes on there. Anybody can scroll back and see.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for my invite to come over and review episode 97 with y'all.
Yeah, we're gonna get you on sometime, man, for sure. This is our this is actually this is a milestone moment for us, man. This is kind of the first time we have been collaborating with like another podcast. So we would definitely love to do more of this in the future. So we definitely need to talk about how to do that well, because we'd love to do that, Jeff. So yeah, but we really appreciate it being on here, and definitely look forward to coming back sometime, and hopefully soon. And so,
hey,
yeah, we really
you guys did great. We're happy to have you come back on. Anytime you want to come back on and cover Shogun with us, same thing with Imran. Right? Y'all are, Jassim already knows. Y'all are welcome to come on. We'll have room on the panel. And y'all did a great job. It was great having you on. And I'm happy to come over and guest with y'all or whatnot and cover Spend 97 or whatever you want to cover. Just let me know.
Appreciate it. Sounds good. Thank you.
It's really nice to know that we're the first, set of creators you guys are really collaborating with and whatnot and everything. So we appreciate that and really value that. I'm glad you all had a good time on the show. I can tell you did.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
All right. Saving the best for last. Mr. Imran.
Where?
I'm going to pull your shit up, brother, so you can talk some Jock and Nerd podcast action.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thanks for having me on the panel. I had a blast. I've been dying to talk about this show, but you can catch I am the jock. I'm not the jock. Let me start. I am the nerd of the Jock and Nerd Podcast. It consists of me and my buddy Anthony, who's the jock, and a puppet named Rug Boy. We have been putting out. It's an audio podcast. Been going since 2015. Every week, we just passed 9 years, and primarily covering comic book and superhero television and movies, dipping into some Godzilla. We love action movies from all decades. We do love a lot of genre stuff. We just put out our Godzilla X Kong New Empire review. Next week, we'll be reviewing Invincible and Monkey Man from Dev Patel. Indian John Wick. Come on, I'm here for it. It's going to be amazing. So we just we hang out and just share our love for action movies, geek culture, and other comic. I mean, obviously you can see the Spider-Man in the back. It all started with my just love for comics.
You can see I actually watch and listen to Madam Web. There you go. Nice. See, it's all with up.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'll get we got 3 very distinctive personalities with different opinions every week, so you never know who's gonna like what. It's lots of fun. Jock and Nerd Podcast, again, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get audio podcasts, we are there. Or you can go to jockandnerd.com for all the links to everything.
That's right, and the same thing extends to you, Imran. We already talked about it. You and I bullshitted and whatnot for a hell of a minute on StreamYard. You already know that we already talked about me coming over with y'all. Just let me know.
Yeah, collaboration is great. Cross promotion is also great.
It is,
and this helps all of us. So this is a great.
It's a wonderful thing. We had a great show. This was great. We have great numbers. We're going to close out at 31 live stream viewers on YouTube right now. That's the record for us on Wednesday night. We've never had that many. So nice. You guys have been like a good luck charm for us. Except for you, Rathacon.
Bro, no, dude, that Saturday show that we did together was really good.
You try to show us up from your fucking swanky apartment and shit.
He was the best part of that show.
All your baby piano bullshit and whatnot, all that shit. The fuck.
I mean, if you want the piano, you could take it.
You know how heavy that motherfucker probably is? Come on, dude. It would take me.
I'm not paying for the movers, bro.
It would take me, Blackfoot, Yamashigi, and fucking 3/4 to pick up that bitch. Can't be doing all that, man. Anyways, folks, I don't have any plugs, folks. None of my plugs would be legal, or like would play on YouTube or whatever, whatnot, right? So
no OnlyFans.
No, I'm not gonna do the OnlyFans. I haven't established the MCU'S Bleeding Edge OnlyFans yet. It's I gotta find time, but I will talk about my last visit to the She-Hulk massage and spa. It was very savage. I don't know if it's for everybody, but there's a lot of pain involved. The happy ending actually is, getting domed by She-Hulk.
There is some twerking involved.
Oh my God, the happy ending will kill you.
Like when you do the happy ending at She-Hulk's Massage and Spa with She-Hulk, you do the happy ending for her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
is it with She-Hulk or is it with Kevin?
She-Hulk.
Robot Kevin.
Yeah, Robot Kevin.
Listen,
it's She-Hulk and all the other.
She-Hulk happy ending would kill any normal person.
There you go.
An abomination.
Yeah.
You die happy though.
You got to blow She-Hulk.
You die happy.
At the end of the massage.
You get your head crushed.
I got you on that one, huh, T-Roll? Oh, I love it. I love seeing that shit. I've had T-Roll a couple times almost lose it. I love it, bro. That's a couple times I almost got you to fucking lose it. With some,
I've had my mic muted the most of it.
I know. It's probably a good thing. Anyways, folks, I'll be receiving my Shogun Award tomorrow, of course. But anyways, no, I'm just kidding, folks. We love all of you. Have a great rest of your week. We will see you on Friday for Magnolia. We'll see you again for Shogun Chapter 7. I'm sure probably maybe one of these guys, two of these guys, three of these guys will be back to do another Shogun chapter. Maybe next week, the week after, we'll be back. We got, 4 more? So we appreciate all of you. God bless all of you. And have a great weekend as well. Make sure you go out and watch Doom Part 2 before it's out of theaters. Peace.
Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. Soon as we step out the cage, we raising all of the stakes. Made no